Okay, well, good evening, everyone. We're very, very lucky tonight to have a very special guest. And the topic tonight is the Simon Chan Go DMO 3. I always go to start with 5. The 35553. If you have trouble saying that 35553 and end up saying 16 fives, just say 35553. It just rolls off the tongue a lot easier. Before we start, because Sarah and I have had a lovely chat on the phone today, and we've got a bit planned for you, so we can hopefully, and Sarah particularly, give you some more insight into it and how easy it is, especially when you get the ease and flow going. But I was just thinking about it when I quickly raced down to put something in the fridge just then. I must point out to you that even though we've started an accountability group for the DMO thing, and we're going on and on and on and on and on about it, because it is very necessary to go on and on and on about it because it's something that works. Don't forget the good old-fashioned way. As I said in my live today, I got to NMD without any social media. And tomorrow night, I've got a girl coming who came with me to Tomorrow's last week. She's coming to sign up. She's already got her first 3 premium customers to fast track. Out and about today, I spoke to a lovely lady in a pharmacist. I want to talk to someone about some herbal supplementation. I had a really great chat with her. I've just prepared a information pack to send to her. She's one of those visual people, likes to read. I've got a customer down in Pemberton who's just trying the product before she becomes a franchisee. So none of them were from social media, and none of them were from Go DMO. Kim, would you be able to mute your phone, please, lovey? See if I can even. I'll actually do it for you. I've done it. It's okay. It's usually Carolina with cooking. So what we're going to do tonight, just bearing that in mind, that Simon Chan Go DMO is absolutely amazing, particularly what you can achieve by doing this, rather than a month's worth of 15 coffee catch-ups and things where you may get one, you may get none. It is a much more economical way of doing things. But don't forget the good old face-to-face, belly-to-belly, building relationships way. So welcome, Sarah. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And she's told me that she's very much like me. If she digresses, I have to smack her.
Yeah.
Just bring you into line. We've got a bit of a plan. I just want to say how proud I am of Sarah. I've known Sarah for a little while now, and I know how exciting it was when she made QNMD, but I also know that she's very, very normal, and it's a thing that most people on their rise to NMD will go through. I know that Sarah has lost team. I know she's lost customers. I know she's had times when she's thought, oh my God, but she's never given up. And here she is teaching someone like me some new tricks and really helping me, and I just love that. So just want to, I want to get Sarah to say hello and just tell you a little bit very quickly about her story so you know a little bit about her. There you go, Sarah.
Hi guys. Gosh, it's been a busy night tonight, I can tell you. Hubby's working shift work and I've been trying to get the kids into bed and doing calls. So I've been in this business now 5 years, and I really started because I was a stay-at-home mum and I just really lost myself. I love my kids to death, but I come from a corporate background. I'm also a qualified PT. I knew I didn't want to go back to work, but I had lost myself in nappies, kids, and spending so much time at home, and I didn't have a network of people when I started this, but I needed to do something for me. And at the time when I actually started this business, my mum was, well, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer when my son was 2 days old. So we had been going through that, and I really just needed something else to focus on. So I joined the business. I had no idea what it could be. I didn't have any goals whatsoever. I just needed it for myself as a hobby. And, you know, maybe I could meet a few friends out of it. So that's how I started. And look, I got to SDVF without having a network. I don't know how I did it. I was just excited. And that's all I remember was being excited. And then mum went downhill, and cut a long story short, you know, she ended up passing away. So I really didn't do anything with my business for a good year. And I think that's what I love about this business as well, is you can step away from it, but it's always going to be there for you. And it wasn't until probably 4 months after she passed away, I was like saying to my husband, I can't, like, what am I going to do with myself? You know, my mum was my best friend. I used to call her multiple times a day, and suddenly I was lost again. I'm like, what am I going to do with myself? I need to go back to work. You know, we need some more income, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, what about this Juice Plus thing? And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess. And I still didn't know what it was. And I remember Tracy coming to me and saying to me, babe, you need to go to Memphis. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, how the hell am I going to afford to go to Memphis? How the hell am I going to leave the kids with hubby? Like, that was crazy. But do you know what? I went to Memphis. I made it happen. I remember crying on the plane the whole way there because I left my kids and it was my son's birthday. But that was the best thing I could have ever done in my business, because it made me understand that this was a business. Prior to that, I really had no idea what it could be. I just thought it was something like Avon. And I guess coming back from there, that was the decision then that I made, that I was going to treat this like a business. This is what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go back to work. And the universe did open up, and I had 2 people come into my life that joined me and got to SC straight away. So I guess that was the start of my business. Like Hillary said, we all go through ups and downs. I can tell you the people that get you to a position now are not the same people that will get you to a position. And Hillary knows I'm going to be quite honest. I'm basically rebuilding. That's where I am right now. I am absolutely rebuilding. What I would say is, and Hillary will prompt me in a minute, but what I would say is the biggest change that I've made, which is producing me the most results in the quickest amount of time, is doing this DMO.
Absolutely. Beautiful story. We're all thinking of your mum tonight. Up with my mum. I love mums. God bless your mum.
Bless her.
Yeah. Thanks, Sarah. Now, look, tonight is really focusing on our 35553 Go DMO. God, we're going to be all so good in 12 months' time. What I want to ask Sarah is, just approximately, when did you actually start really knuckling down and deciding, I'm going to do this Simon Chan thing? I'm going to do it.
So I joined up with Simon Chan's Insider Group in November last year, and I kept seeing this DMO float around, but I really didn't get into it because I thought it was too hard. So that's my own limiting belief, right? Getting stuck in my way there. Then I dabbled in it, and then I still felt it was too hard because I was overthinking. Like, I understand in this business that we get taught to build relationships, but I was spending too long building relationships, right? So what was happening is I was missing the boat and just spending too much time that I actually didn't have building those relationships. And so it was probably maybe a month before conference, if I have to be completely honest, that I drew a line in the sand and went, this is the DMO I'm going to commit to every day. I am not doing anything else. I am not getting sidetracked by other bright, shiny objects or other ways that come along. This is what I'm going to do. And at that moment, Simon Chan had organised a Go DMO in his Insider Group, which is what kickstarted me, because what he does is 3-4 times a day, he goes live, and for 5 minutes, he'll say, right, I want 5 minutes, go and find 5 friends. So you do it with him. Then he'll say, the next 5 minutes, I want you to go and invite 5 people. So what happened is I started off doing that, and I remember I was on one of those calls, and I said to Simon, I said, I've got no one to invite, right? Like, I feel like I've got no one to invite. And he goes, Sarah, don't think about it. I just want you to send out the message and invite. And I was like, oh, okay. And I sent out the messages, and some of these people I hadn't even connected with. But that was the beginning of my consistency, because what I realized was it's not about overthinking it. The verbiage that Simon gives you works. And sorry, I was just reading the message. And what I realized is those people, that even the ones I hadn't connected with, I was actually getting come back to me and say, yeah, sure, what is it? Show me. So about a month before conference is when I really knuckled down.
Okay, thanks for that. And so would you honestly say that, does everyone listening here, do they really need to join the Simon Chan Insider Group, would you think?
No, not necessarily. I did it because I was looking for something different. What I was doing wasn't working. I've had other mentors in my business, and I know this sounds really silly, guys, but everyone was always on about building relationships. And that was the thing that got me stuck. And I know that sounds really bloody stupid, but, you know, people would say to me, oh, you know, spend half an hour building relationships online every day. And I'm like, oh, I don't get what you mean. Like, I'm okay with having conversations, but I don't know. It's really hard to explain, but I didn't get it. So I was looking for something else, and I'm going to be honest. Yeah, Tina. I was looking for something else. You know, I am a busy mum. I get that I stay at home, but I've got kids that do sport all the time, and I didn't want to spend 3 hours fluffing around on damn Facebook building relationships. And unlike Hillary, I do all of mine online. I'm sorry, I did all the meetups. I spent time doing coffees, and I found people were just in it for themselves. And I'm not meaning that in a nasty way, but it was just wasting a lot of my time that I didn't have. So you don't have to know. My biggest thing is, if you're going to do this DMO, I can sometimes get lost in it if I don't time myself. So the biggest thing I would say is, you know, say to yourself, right, I'm going to set a timer now. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes, and I'm going to do my 5 friends. Then go away. You can go away and do something else if you don't have time. And then next time you come and sit down and go, right, I'm going to put the timer on again for 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm going to do my 5 invites.
Can I just interrupt you there, Sarah? Guys, this is exactly why I wanted Sarah to come on tonight. With these little gems that she's sharing, she took away my, you know, that O word that we're not allowed to use in our team, that over something. She took away that from me, because she said, don't sit and try and do your 3, 5, 5, 5, 3. Don't even sit and try and do your 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Just grab 3 of something, do it, go away, hang the washing out, whatever. I just want to clarify there too, Sarah, I think that's fantastic you're only doing this. But what I'm saying is that if you're at a barbecue tonight, there's no way, if someone asks you why you've got lovely skin or hair, why you wouldn't mention it's because your product. Yeah, no, that's totally different from going out networking and looking for things.
Oh, for sure. There's definitely, I'm not saying online is the only way. If I'm out and about and the opportunity presents itself, I'm comfortable doing so, then I will definitely do so. But I'm going to be honest, I was almost forcing myself to go out to try and meet people for the sake of growing my business, and it wasn't working.
Yeah. We've all actually been there, and I'm going to a networking thing tomorrow, just a one-off to see what it's like, because I actually love that sort of thing, and I find I'm quite successful there. But anyway, tonight's about the DMO. I just, there was something that just came to mind then that I was thinking about before we go on. Okay, so straight after GoPro, we're all standing there over in the Gold Coast. We're absolutely in awe of everything we'd heard from Eric Worre. And there were people going off paying money to sign up for Eric Worre, and we'd signed off 2 weeks before or something for GoPro. Simon Chan was a little bit confused, and I said straight out to Tamara, okay, what are we going to do? Which one are we doing? And it was Tamara who actually said to me, well, personally, I am going to do the Simon Chan Go DMO, and I'm going to use all the learnings, as you heard on the previous call, if I would you, you know, all those sort of things. So it just made sense to me. So rather than thinking, oh my God, there's all this stuff to learn, we just focus on one DMO if it suits you, and then all the other stuff that we've learned can help you while you're doing that DMO. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next thing, Sarah, I want to ask you. So you got started, you sort of started just before Christmas. I'd like to ask you, what have your achievements been so far? Obviously, and I think we discussed this today, some personal confidence, definitely. Because once you step over that line, it's very easy to fall back. And when you start having success, that confidence grows and grows. But what success have you had as far as numbers in new franchisees and customers solely from the DMO? Just approximately.
So I just want to say that consistently I started a month before conference because wasn't doing it properly before, and therefore I wasn't getting the momentum and I wasn't really getting anywhere with it. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I have been working my business consistently every day for the last 5 years, but I was really challenged on getting team and I was challenged on getting customers. So last month I got 5 new frontline and I have 5 new customers, which for me, you know, from being quite flat and nothing seemed to be coming through, that's a really good month for me. But why I'm saying that is when you start this DMO, it's a numbers game. It's going to take a while of consistency to go through it to get results. And you're still going to have your ebbs and flows. Like I think before GoPro, I was saying to Hillary, oh my God, it's just flowing. It's flowing so easily. Now this week it's slowed down. Slowed down in the terms of what I mean is when I'm sending out my 5 invites, I was usually getting 4 come back saying, yep, show me. And this week it's been maybe 1 to none, but I'm okay with that because I know, like Simon Chan says, we're in the sorting business.
Yeah.
Which goes on to my next point of it started working for me when in my head I didn't care what the outcome was going to be and I didn't care what people think of me, because quite often you won't send an invite out to someone because deep down in your subconscious it'll be, oh my God, but what if they think I'm salesy, or what if they think I'm going to spam? Well, if you're thinking that, then that's the outcome that you're going to have. We are the prize. We have something special. We have something special to give. These people that you're inviting don't live next door to you. They're probably never going to meet you in your life. What's the worst case scenario that can happen? They block you off Facebook. Is that really that bad? I haven't had that yet, by the way.
And any objections, you can just think to yourself, they're not going to pay my bills. I just want to interrupt there. Kim and Tina, a lot of the things you're asking, those answers will come. We've planned a whole call tonight on answering those questions about verbiage and all that. And also, you will find that a lot of this has already been covered, whether it's in Team Angels or the Team Angels Messenger group. There are a lot of the messages there, but we can get to that in a minute. That is absolutely brilliant. I don't know about you guys, but I think that's legend status. 5 new frontline. You know, I think I've had 3 new frontline in the last 12 months. And not that many of them haven't done much, but that's all I've had. So that is outstanding. So that's enough, don't you think, guys, to make us want to do this? It really is just something. Okay. All right, Sarah. So,
Hillary, can I just interrupt?
Please.
I'd just like to say as well, 4 out of those frontline came from a direct invite. So I hadn't actually started a conversation with them.
So explain that, please.
So, okay. So in other words, when you do and we'll go through this later, when you're doing your 5 friends, basically you're connecting with those people. So you're going to pop them a little message. You're going to start the conversation going. I usually give it about 3 back and forths before I go in and invite them, right? Because you don't want to build that like Simon Chan says, you don't want to build that relationship too much, but you've built it just enough that they don't have any of those things like, why have you friended me, whatever that might be going through your head. But if I'm running low on conversations, then sometimes I'll use my stories. I might go through them and see, okay, who's been watching my story? Oh, her. And I'll just send her a direct invite, which I can cover the verbiage before. So
does everyone know what Sarah's talking about on Facebook, the stories up the top?
You could use a post anywhere.
Yeah.
Like if people like my post, I might go, oh, she's like my post. I haven't spoken to her. Okay, I'm on Simon Chan's. I've got 5 minutes to invite some people. I'm just going to send out my invite and I've got it saved in my phone. And so my 4 frontline, what I'm saying is those ones actually came from me not building a relationship. They've seen me on Facebook, they've seen me in my stories, but I just reached out to them.
Beautiful. So there's no rhyme or reason really. It's just do it and do the numbers. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Now, Sarah, I know they're all dying to hear the verbiage and all that, and we've actually all heard a lot of the verbiage, and they want to know what clips you're using and sending and all sorts. But first of all, preparation. Could you just go through what everyone needs to be prepared rather than just do it? What have you got? And this is exactly what Sarah showed me to do, actually.
Well, I've saved all the verbiage in my notes in my phone so that it's ready to go. I tweak some of it sometimes, depending on how the conversation's going or whatever. I've got my couple of videos that I send, and like Simon Chan says, say less to more people. So I pretty much send out my invite. They come back. They might say, yep, I'm interested, or what is it? I never tell them what it is. I always say, look, I've got a really quick video. If I send it to you, will you watch it? They say, yep. I send them the link. The next day, I usually send them a message saying, hey, just touching base. Did you get a chance to watch the video? What did you like best about it? They usually reply, and I go from there. Now, if they don't reply, that's okay. I use Simon Chan's I'm busy follow-up in a couple of days or down the track, and that gets a conversation started. In fact, what I do love about the DMO is I've actually started more conversations by doing the DMO because of the way the verbiage is afterwards. It's like you kind of leave them with that knowing that you're not just there to get them in the business. Like, we're actually having conversations after, even if some people have said no.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's important there, and even the message that you send when you say, look, sorry, I haven't been in touch. I've been really busy helping new customers and getting people started in the business, et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes I've been doing that too, and it really is nice to modify it. Like, I try and put the person's name in. Like one of them that I said, I knew that she'd recently been in hospital, so I sort of said a little bit about that. But Sarah, I love everything you're doing. What I particularly, now they're all saying, I know, because I know my team, where can we get this verbiage? And we have got in certain places, but I think the best thing to do is, I'll try and find it where I've posted it, whether it's on Facebook or in Messenger, and get it all again, because we actually also have started a DMO hustle group. So I'll make sure it's all in there. But the best thing that Sarah taught me when, as I said in my live today, guys, when I was kicking and screaming, and I was exhausted after Eric Worre GoPro, and she insisted that I sit and watch her do her DMO with Ease and Flow. And we actually walked 8 kilometres that day to go and try and find me a diary, like I have shown you guys before, an extra diary, not your normal diary. And that's the very best thing for knowing what you do. But it doesn't matter. You can use any other way to track. But Sarah showed me this, and it wasn't just that she showed me the diary. And each page she's put 3, 5, 5, 5, 3 and what they are. And as she was doing it, she was scribbling her name, and I was sort of reminding her and helping her. And I was almost getting, it was contagious. So as I say, you might be using a tracking form, but I can almost guarantee you that this, I believe, is a better idea.
Yeah, I can show you mine. So I just use a diary. As you can see, I've done 10 invites today. 10 invites. I've done my 5 follow-ups, and I've done, I think, 6 or 7 friends, and I've only sent 2 links out. That's okay. But I write it all in a diary like this. But then I use my 30-day grid. Now, for me, I only put people on there that I've actually sent a link to.
Yeah.
Because then I can look at all these people and I know, hang on a minute, I've actually sent them a link. So I know that to follow up with these ones, and more important, I know that in 6 months' time, I can revisit these ones. The other ones, are not necessarily as important.
You don't have to scroll through hundreds.
I don't have to scroll through the hundreds, but what I do know is every day, like, so for tomorrow, I'm going to look at the people I've sent the links to, and I already know that they're going to be 2 of my follow-ups for tomorrow.
Right. Okay. I'm just noticing in the chat, Tina, you say you've got the verbiage. Have you done it in really quite a good document, Tina, with everything?
I did send you a document, Hillary, with the verbiage.
Yeah, I've got that. I just thought Tina might have something, you know, more or something, because we all need to share everything. Okay, so let's keep going. I don't think Tina heard my question. Doesn't matter. Okay, so let's just have a quick talk about the system. And as we go through the system, the 35553, just tell us exactly what it's supposed to do, because I am sure people get a little bit mixed up with the second 5 and the last 3.
Okay, so you've got 5 invites. So I personally, that's the first thing I do out of my DMO, because if you think about it, that's your real business building, right? You're inviting 5 people a day to have a look at your business, your product, or you could invite them to an event. So when
but this is the one where you're saying it may or may not be for you, out of left field, correct?
Correct. So usually I will, you know, message someone. I might say, hey, you know, I hope you've had a great weekend. This is so crazy random, laugh out loud, because that's my personality. Yeah. Just so you popped up on my stories. This may or may not be for you, but I'm working on something super exciting. Would you be open to taking a look? Cross, 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 smiley face. That's my go-to. If it's after Wednesday, I might say, hey, what have you got planned for the weekend? This is blah, blah, blah. That's what I use. But it's the verbiage of it may or may not be for you, right? Fear of missing out. And would you be open? So I've not had anybody yet message me back angry. In fact, then usually I've had a couple say, hey, you know, thanks for thinking of me. I'm super busy at the moment, not for me. And we've started a conversation.
Yeah, lovely.
But that's your 5 invites. So once you can get into the space where you really, excuse my language, don't give a shit, and don't have any fear around that, I can tell you can pop out 5 invites in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah. Then someone's come back to you and they've maybe said yes. And that's where you do your follow-up, isn't it? And they've said yes, and then you want to go and send them a video clip.
Yep, so I send them a video. Mine's always about business, usually, because that's what I'm inviting to.
And which one is that?
I use the Come Join Us.
Yep.
Yep. And then I just take it from there. If they want to know more after that, I try and get them on a call. That's not always possible. It depends on where they are in the world. Otherwise, next step, I pop them in that What If group and get them to watch a 30-minute video. That's my thing. If they don't reply, you know, you're going to get lots of people ignore you. Don't take it personally. Remember, it's nothing to do with you. They're saying no to themselves. We're sorting. Remember, we're in the sorting business.
This is where a lot of the verbiage comes in, guys. So it's at this stage that you're doing, you know, something like Sarah saying, you know, I'm going to send you a clip or something. Or if there's nothing for a week or 2, then she'll send sorry, I haven't been in touch. I'm been busy, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, and then sometimes people respond, oh my God, I'm still interested. Sorry, I've been busy. Or they may not even respond to that. And like Simon Chan says, you've sorted them. Push them aside, move on.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah.
So that's your 5 follow-ups. But your follow-ups aren't necessarily the people you did the day before. They could be people you've done 6 months ago that are on your grid. You might want to revisit people from 6 months ago and pop them a message saying, hey, you know, I've been thinking about you, you know, what's up? Or you could say, hey, I've been thinking about you. I know you showed interest in the business 6 months ago. Have things changed? Would you be open to looking at it again? You know, that's just kind of common sense stuff, I guess.
And Sarah, that's why I loved your diary idea, because as I told you today, this is just a little bit different, guys. I had some time the other day and I felt that I'd seen so many people I'd connected with on Facebook that I hadn't actually added as friends. So I went through and I added about 30 people. It was great. No one rejected me. It was terrific, but I hadn't done a lot with it yet. But I can go back to a week or two. Like, I'm only really the last few days doing this properly, but I can go back to a week or two and I can look at something and think, oh, I haven't followed up with them. Just have a look on Messenger, say, oh, what was the last thing I did for them? And then I can use any of the verbiage, whether it's 2 days later or 2 weeks or 2 months later. Once it's the same as Bronnie always says, don't just think it, ink it. So I love how Sarah's saying the ones that she's really getting connected with, she'll put on her grid, and I will do that too. But yeah, so don't think that you don't need that diary. If you're going to do this and do it seriously, you really do. And there's a lot in the shops at the moment, the financial year ones, July to June next year, which will just sort you out beautifully.
Well, it keeps me on track because I don't like seeing holes in my 5 follow-ups. Like, I'm like, man, that's got to be done today because that's just not going to happen, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then with your 5 friends, so I get a lot of mine from groups. There's a couple of groups that I'm in that I've been in for a long time, and I have been adding a lot of value in there. Like, they see my face every day. I guess because fitness is my passion, so everyone's posting up a sweaty selfie all the time. They've really gotten to know me, and I've done lives in there, but this has been like a year, 2 years down the track. Does that make sense? But it doesn't matter whether it's a group that you're known in or not. The simplicity of the clam is comment, like, add, message. So you could go into any group, and this is how I do it with speed. And it sounds awful, but I go in and I see a post. I'm like, right, she's posted. Okay, I'm going to like the post. I'm going to comment. So depending on what they've said, I try and make it relatable. Like, say say I'm in a fitness group and she's posted up and she's like, oh, you know, guys, I'm struggling. What can I eat post-workout? And there's a picture there. I might like the post. I'm going to comment. I'm going to say, hey, have you thought about having a smoothie? You know, what is your usual go-to? I kind of like to put a question in there, but I don't stress over it if I don't. Then I add them as a friend with no worries about whether they're going to accept me. And the message I usually pop them is, hey, I hope you don't mind. We're in the same group, blah, blah, blah. I just pop you a friend request. I love connecting with like-minded women. And then I'll refer back to that post. Like, how's your fitness journey going? Or if you're in a dog group, it could be, how's your schnauzer going? I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And guys, you're not going to do this perfect straight away. Sarah's just got it down to a beautiful fine art now. And every time I listen to her, I think, oh, yes, I could do that. It's just something that you keep building on.
Like, some people have accepted my friend request. I find this so bizarre. They accept my friend request. I send them a beautiful little message like that, and they don't message me back, but I don't take it personally. They could be busy. I just think, why accept my friend request if you don't want to talk to me? But do you know what I mean? But all you're doing, it's not the 5 friends that necessarily accept. And then I go to the next post and I add them as a friend. I comment, add them as a friend, like the post, message. You do that 5 times. When you've done this when you get down to it and you've done this DMO and it's only taken you 20 minutes, you can close your diary, you can walk away, and you can go and do what you like.
Yeah. And that's what we talked about in our call last week. We talked about prioritizing productivity. I had to get Sarah to give me a little pep talk and a nag today because life and team management once again got in the way. I allowed it to, and my DMO came last. So you'll all be shocked, but Hillary's going to start getting up earlier and getting in and doing her DMO. I know you'll be shocked out of your socks, but I am, and you can hold me to it sometimes.
Look, I think the thing is, you know, if you can and it takes time. Once you've got this, like in the school holidays, I want to spend time with my kids. I don't want to spend 2 hours on Facebook building relationships and fluffing around. And, you know, I went to the movies, and while the ads were on in the movies, you know, at the beginning, while you're waiting for the movie to come on, I did my 5 invites and I did my 5 friends. That's half my DMO done while I was sat in ads waiting for the movie to come on.
Awesome. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got a few more people. I see Nicole and Xavier, thank you so much for being there. I'm not sure if you're on the way to the airport or whatever. We'll make sure that we actually repost the verbiage in our messenger group. So we've all got it and cut and paste it. I might even put some of the ones that I put in there, just different ones that I've modified and all that sort of thing. I'll share as much as I've got. but you want to have a special folder in your notes that is for your 35553 and just be a little bit organised there. Okay, so Sarah, we've talked about using one task at a time. Oh, well, I will just reiterate, because there's a few people who weren't privy to it. We had a few people on our messenger group or Team Angels or whatever it was saying, oh, but you know, I'm sending come join us and it's not working. But it's always about numbers. And that's when I got hold of Tamara as well. And she said, look, I'm having mixed results at variable. Some people love it, say, yeah, what more do I need to know? What can you tell me? Other people say, you know, if they do respond, yeah, but I still don't know what you're talking about. Numbers, we're talking about 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. You know, when you consider you're doing those 5 things a day, 5 invites, you know, that's 25 invites in just your working days of the week if you don't work weekends. It's numbers, guys. So we can't send it to 3 or 4 people and say it's not working. And if it definitely isn't working, well, we can all discuss it and work out some of the other ones that just might. Because that one that starts with beautiful Kate Golay, I love that. And even though it does say Juice Plus, and so the curiosity isn't there, I just think that is so, so good. And it'd be interesting to see. I'm going to use a mixture. So I think in our group, we can all report and see what's working. But something that works for one person won't necessarily work for the other person. So, okay, what have I got here? What else did we discuss? Using the diary, yeah, making it, all right, making it a priority. So for you guys, you know, all of you on my team, you know that the 5 high-paying activities is talk to people, use the grid and follow up, do your customer care, build and attend events and personal growth. Well, that talk to people and use the grid and following up is basically all of this. So those first 2 things are the things you must do first. So I know a few of you have got fantastic groups now going with Shred 10 and all that sort of thing. Imagine if you get more people. See, when you do this Simon Chan DMO too, it may not necessarily be, they might just be interested in your product. Well, don't really think I wouldn't do that, but what's your product? And that's what Sarah's saying. She's gotten customers.
Yeah, I actually had a lady today, well, she's in Canada, and she's not interested in the business, but she's like, oh my God, I just want to get on your products and I want to do the Shred 10, so send me info. So it can work. And also if somebody says no to me about, say they've watched the Come Join Us video, if that's the one I've used, and they're like, sorry, I'm not interested. You know what? I'm always ask them about the product. I'm very direct because at the end of the day, they've said no to the business. So I'm like, well, look, would you like to have a look at our products? Would you like to try the products?
Yeah.
Please.
And you can also ask another thing saying, look, we've got so many people making such a difference to their lives. If you know anyone who might be interested, I'd love you to pass them my way. Have a great weekend.
Yeah.
You know. And as we're saying, the verbiage is there, but you do need to put your personality to it and also make it a little bit personal to the person or the sort of comments or the group that you're in, exactly what Sarah's saying. Now, I think we've pretty much covered everything. What I want to put to you guys is probably not for a good month, but Sarah has kindly offered, if you would like to, particularly for people you really need to get a start on this, she's prepared to come to my home and have a little workshop with us. So we're all sitting there with our phones and, well, more importantly, she's sitting there with her phone. Too bad she's got a Samsung. I don't know what she's doing. And we can actually watch her and do a bit of brainstorming around it. So we don't need to make a decision now, but I think that could be something really fantastic in the future, if you don't mind, Sarah, and if anyone feels they need it.
Yeah.
But, you know, like me, before I went to GoPro, I was kicking and screaming. I thought, yeah, I need to do DMO, but I'm not really doing it. And it was Sarah who made me, look how easy it is. Look, you don't have to do it as fast as me, but this is all it is. So it was that fear, oh, this is all too much, I can't do this. And I think I've said to you guys on calls before, I couldn't care, even if someone did abuse me or kick me out of a group, it's not life-threatening. It's not going to pay my bills or bring my husband home. Oh, yeah.
Can I just say something else as well? The biggest thing around this DMO is definitely feel free to personalize it, but there is certain verbiage in there that from a subconscious psychological level works. So don't change that bit of it. So the actual invite bit don't change, but you can add your little bit on in the beginning. But Simon Chan's very much like, don't say too much, because that's when people, if you start saying too much and then you're doing that, you kind of like getting away from the point, if that makes sense. And also the other thing I learnt actually today was the person that asks the last question loses. So what I mean by that, you know, sometimes when you're messaging someone, you might say, hey, how have you been? Would you like to catch up for a coffee today? Boom. Right? One question. Because a lady did this to one of her friends, and this friend actually got back to her and said, oh, are you trying to sell me something? So Simon Chan's like, whenever you're talking to somebody, one question, wait for them to reply. Then you can ask them to coffee.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. What we thought we might do now, guys, is open it to questions. If you'd all like to unmute yourself, as long as you haven't got too much noise in the background. And Tina and Kim and I had a real crack up last week. Kim and Tina came to see me, and Kim's little son, Andrew, I could have sworn it was a little miniature Simon Chan walking in. It just took me by surprise.
You know what? Simon Chan preaches what he said. On Saturday, I got a video. He messaged me a video of himself singing me happy birthday.
He did that to me 2 years ago, and I didn't really even know who he was then.
It's a crack.
He does. Okay, everyone unmute yourself. Would anyone like to ask Sarah a question?
I think Tina's got one. She said, what do you send after come join us? No, that's Nick. Sorry, Tina. So do you send a product video together with come join us? I tend not to, Tina, because a lot of people don't have a lot of time to look at lots of videos. However, if I have done in the past, but it's been very rarely, and it really depends on the circumstance.
Yeah. I wouldn't, personally, I wouldn't. No. It's bad enough when they come back and say, but I don't really know what you're talking about. It's just gently. Otherwise, it really is obvious. I think there's a question there from Nicole. What do you send after come join us if they say they're interested? That's sort of been answered, Nicole. Sarah will either put them in the what if, or she'll try and organise a Zoom call. I personally do the what if first, because Tamara can do it way better than I can. And then if there's any questions, you just keep going and give them everything they need.
Yeah, it really...
Go, Tina.
I had a question. Yeah, I just wanted to ask Sarah that you said before that this one lady came back interested in the product, but this come join us doesn't really say anything about what it is. So how did you know what the product was? Or
I presume she stalked me.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I know.
I'm just trying to think and come join us. It doesn't say Juice Plus, but surely it must show the product and something, doesn't it, with the girls originally? I would definitely, if they want to know about the product, you would send it to them.
Yeah, I mean, I've been posting a lot about the shred. She was a newbie, and again, she was one I reached out to that I've never said hello to before. I just invited her. Hey, hope you've had a good weekend. This was yesterday. And I sent her to come join us, and she came back about the product. So I reckon she's probably gone on my timeline and seen something.
Yeah. So do you just use the come join us, or when do you use your own video? When do you use that other one that you use?
You mean the one that I've done on the private one I've done?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's actually in my group. So what I was doing was I was adding anybody that was interested into my group and tagging them in my video. And I've had really, really good results with that. But I have also got a lot of people saying, oh, you never tagged me, I didn't see it. And I was just like, oh, so I could actually, I mean, that's on YouTube, so I could send them that one as well. And I do dabble between the two. It just depends how much I know about them. That one's very much about me being a mum, and I'm kind of like, if they're not a mum, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah.
But it's a business one, yeah?
Yeah.
Mel's just posted a question there. She uses Come Join Us, but lots of people, so obviously she's going through the numbers, say they don't get it or what's it about. That's fine, Melzy, but some of them will enjoy it and actually say, can you tell me a little bit more? So, you know, you can say, yeah, a lot of the people who've joined us now didn't really understand that. So love to explain a little bit more. Are you free for a Zoom, or can I send you something else? Or what I'd like to do is put you into a closed Facebook group with some fabulous explanation of what we do. There's always something out there.
I do get quite a few people sometimes say to me, I don't get it, but I also think a lot of those people, to be honest, probably are not serious anyway. Because the ones that have been my front line have absolutely, the ones that have joined the business have loved that video.
I would actually suggest to everyone in the next 24 hours to have a look at that Juice Plus one with Kate Golle. Even though it says Juice Plus, we want people who just go, bam, get onto it. We want those 10, 15% out of 100 people who are really going to do it. I'm not embarrassed to say, even though we're trying to keep the curiosity up, what I would suggest you do, like the Come Join Us, it's very non-threatening and it's a bit exciting and all that sort of thing. But if you want something more powerful, go and listen to the Kate Golle one and imagine you're in that stranger's shoes and you've listened to that. What would you feel? I think it's always good to put yourself in other people's situations, see how you feel. What we'll do in the next few days, guys, we'll put a lot of these things, these videos, we'll refresh it and we'll put in our new messenger group, the accountability group, so you can all see it and decide.
You can't really send the wrong thing to the right person as well, so keep that in mind.
Yeah. It's numbers, numbers, numbers. Right, anything else? Yeah, so what you send them? Interested, we've got that. Workshop would be amazing. Yep. Nicole and Zay are very keen on that. Look, even for myself, I personally would like to get a month under my belt of doing this DMO, and then maybe having some of us might have quite a few success stories by then, and Sarah will be an absolute legend by then, and then we can do it. So that's what we'll think. Are there any more questions?
Is this so the people that you brought on board, and you said to try to get a call with them, like as early in the piece as possible. Do you do a Zoom call, and is that when you explain to them, or is that where you find out more about what they want out of it?
Yeah, it depends, because it depends where they are in the world. So I've just put on one Australian, one from Germany, 2 from the US and 1 from the UK. So most of them I do Facebook Messenger, and we all do video, and that's how I build the connection and the chat. Otherwise it could be a Zoom, but sometimes right at the beginning that can be a bit complicated for people.
Yeah.
So if I've sent them the video and they're happy to have a chat, it's really just me getting on and finding out more about them and what got their interest and what do they want out of this. And then I'll share a bit about my story. I never go into too much about what Juice Plus is or the business plan unless they ask me, but I use the video, the What If group, to do that. Like, use those tools, you know.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend that. Look, we've got all these resources and they can do a better job than we usually can. And then we can bring our personality in and offer our love and support. And this is what we do. And isn't the support great? And look at all the resources we've got. You want to show those resources off so these people realize, you know, there's lots of things there. You don't have to be like Sarah doesn't want to stand up there and look as though she knows absolutely everything, because then they might think, oh, I've got to do that. So it's an online business. There's places we send you, the new person, there's places you send your prospects, blah, blah, blah. I'll be coaching you and mentoring you all the way.
And then don't forget, when you're doing that, they're going to do the same when they get into the business, and they're going to add, and it takes out less. It really simplifies it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how do you use the Transformation Hub, or do you use it?
I use it a lot. How do I use it? Oh my God. Do you know what? It depends. I could be using it anywhere from, if I'm having a conversation with someone. Okay, I was having a conversation with someone the other day. I didn't invite them to Juice Plus. I did bring up Juice Plus. They were talking about their gut health. And I said, look, honey, I've got an amazing video done with a dietitian. It's in our transformation group. She still didn't know what I did. Do you know what I mean? But I'm like, I think it could really add value to what you're going through right now. Would you like me to tag you? So I did that about 10 times the other day. Now, none of those people at this point are getting on the product, but the point is, you know, I've been able to friend them. We've had some conversations going back and forth. And well, don't forget, you're also planting the seeds. Also, that third-party validation. So I was speaking to a girl, complete random again, the other day. I actually called her. I didn't even explain to her what I did. She was so sick. She literally, I saw her post on a page, didn't know her, and it just said, help me, help me. I'm in so much pain. I'm so sick all the time. I was like, what's going on here? And I just didn't even I just messaged her. I'm just like, what's going on? You know, blah, blah, blah. And I just said to her, look, I've got something that can really, really, I think could really help you. Can I give you a call? And she's like, I can't even talk. And I said, I'm like, babe, you don't need to talk. Will you just hear me out? And I ended up getting on the phone to her. I didn't know her from a bar, so we had such a great chat for like 40 minutes. And she's going to sign up to the product next week. But I probably would not have had that outcome if I just messaged her.
Yeah. And also, guys, talking about the Transformation Hub, those people, even if they're just going to, even only if they're going to come on as franchisee, they need to know about the product. So, you know, definitely put them in the Transformation Hub and educate them, because you want to have as less work to do as possible. We want our life back. That's why we're doing this, correct? So even me personally lately, every time I'm doing something, like that's why beautiful Kim came to see me the other day, and I made sure Tina came. Tina, who's her sponsor, her upline, Tina came too, because then we're making sure we're sponsoring. So it's not Hillary saying, oh, I'll do this and I'll do this and I'll do this for you, which will, not always. But the whole thing of this and doing this social media and just getting that little bit more all the time, use the resources we got. We are so lucky to have the likes of Tamara and doing what she's done, and the others in the What If and Transformation Hub. It's priceless.
Yeah, it's great.
Priceless. Well, I think we're just about done for now. I really can see a workshop coming on. And look, we may even, if everyone really is diligent and really determined to do this, I would suggest that we do it for 4 or 5 weeks, and then we ask Sarah if she'd kindly come back and do another Zoom with us and see where we're up to and see if we need some more help.
Yeah, and just to finish, I know I can waffle. Sorry, guys.
No, we're loving the waffle.
The biggest change for me was, honestly, I get it, because I know some of you are sitting there and you're going to be like it tomorrow. You're going to be right, who do I invite? And you're going to be like this on your phone, and you're going to be like, I can't press it. I get it, but I promise you, just press the damn button. It doesn't matter, right? Send out that invite.
Yeah. Oh, Sarah, some of the comments are beautiful. Xavier's just said, I got so much from this. Thank you, Sarah. I feel so much more confident. Sounds good about getting you back on again. We love you. We're very grateful. Thank you very, very, very much. You're an inspiration. We all look forward to seeing you go NMD. In the meantime, we'll try and get organised on our Hustle group and try and get a lot of the verbiage there and the clips, so we've sort of got a resource that's right there. So even though you all need it on your own notes, it's nice to have a resource somewhere there. So thank you. Say good night, everyone. I'm going to stop the recording.
Thanks, Sarah.